Hello and welcome to HornbillTV. Moi Kivito, arito se ajula Nagumis Roundup News. Union Cabinet pra Joakali June 14 te nutun Armed Forces Recruitment Scheme Agnipath koigena announce kuri dia pichite aji Chief of Staff Major General RS Guraya bra Dimapur Press Khan logo Agnipath scheme upor press briefing kurise. Rangapar Military Station Dimapur te. Major General ba koise Agnipath scheme laga main aim do youngsters Khan ge platform digna armed forces to transform kurbo nimite ase koise.
Scheme is called the Agnipath, and the youth selected under the scheme will be known as Agniveers. Agnipath allows patriotic and motivated youth to serve the armed forces for a period of 4 years. Well, the aim of this scheme was to restructure the intake and retention processes in the Indian Armed Forces with a view to evolve youthful, modern and futuristic fighting force, and thus provide opportunities to the youth of this nation to be disciplined, motivated and skilled. It aims to achieve optimal balance between the experienced permanent cadre, which have unique technical skills and operational skills, which will be supported by the youthful and the well-equipped support cadre, which we want to induct now as the Agnipath or the Agniveers. The annual intake will be as per the requirements of the organization, that is Army, Air Force or the Navy. Periodic phased screening processes have been put in place to assess the most proficient personnel required for permanent cadre. I will be explaining to you how it will happen. There will be adequate monetary and employment incentives given to the existing personnel or exiting personnel to ensure attractiveness of this scheme. We hope that this broad concept translates into a win-win situation for the armed forces, the personnel or the individuals joining the armed forces, and the society at large. Thereby, we get physically fit, motivated, well-disciplined, and skilled personnel we give back to the society. Certain considerations which were kept in view when this whole scheme, which is under discussion, deliberation over quite some time in the armed forces, we wanted to have a youthful profile of the armed forces, which is a must for today's environment. We also have a long durations of training which is being conducted presently. We wanted to optimize that training and shorten the duration. At the same time, we wanted to exploit the availability of technically trained manpower which is available in the country through technical institutions, ITIs, and various other colleges and institutions which are available. By this method, over a period of next 7 to 8 years, the average age of the army will be reduced from 32 to 26 years. These Agniveers will be authorized slightly less leave. Therefore, it improves their availability for the organization for a longer duration. The second point, which is very important, which I want to share with you, and especially from the northeastern India, is that we wanted to improve the diversity of our armed forces. Presently, about 70% of Indian Army comes from just 168 districts of the total of 775 districts of India. So we wanted to ensure that there's the equal representation by all states, by all the residents of this nation. Therefore, we are switching to all India, all class composition. I'm sure this will lead to improved quality. We'll have a very well laid out 3-tier objective assessment of the people who will join the armed forces. There will be a rigorous screening. And of course, at the end of 4 years, we will retain about 25% of these people, and 75% will move into the society. Our contribution to society in terms of these 75% moving out of the batch which has come to us, we feel that we'll give to society more skillful, motivated youth who have attained more financial stability than their counterparts in the civil street. And they will be as young as from 21 to 25 years, and they will be easily absorbed by various organizations or by the society. And therefore, we hope we carry out value addition to the quality of youth of this nation. The selected candidates will be enrolled for 4 years, and after 4 years, there will be a clean break. 100% will exit at the end of 4 years, and they will opt for permanent cadre absorption at the end of 4 years. So based on our selection process, we will offer 25% of them permanent enrollment in the army. The eligibility is from 17.5 to 21 years, medically and physically fit, standards as per present norms, and of course the education qualifications as required by the armed forces. Pay and allowances, yearly package of about 4.76 lakhs in first year to 6.92 lakhs in the fourth year. All allowances which are applicable to the personal law will be applicable to them, like risk or hardship, clothing, ration, transport. Once they get selected and absorbed as a permanent cadre, then their pay will be fixed as a regular soldier. There are certain conditions, and there is a Seva Nidhi program for them, in which 30% of their monthly emoluments will be compulsorily contributed. Equal amount will be matched by the government. So after 4 years of service, they will get about 11.7 lakhs accumulated amount when they exit from the service. There shall be no entitlement to gratuity and pensionary benefits to these Agniveers. However, they will be provided non-contributory life insurance cover of 48 lakh rupees for the duration of their engagement with the armed forces. In the end, I just want to reiterate that Army will continue to retain the rich legacy, history, traditions, military values, and culture based on the principles of cohesiveness, camaraderie, esprit de corps, and the core ethos of Naam, Namak, and Nishan. I want to again reassure that during the implementation and stabilization of this Agnipath scheme, our operational capabilities and preparedness along the borders and the ability to deal with internal security challenges will be fully maintained. We are confident that this change will bring new vigor and confidence in the Indian Army and make it stronger, more capable, and in stride with the future.
देश पूरा दे भारतीय जनता पार्टी खंड प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार लगा 8 साल होया मनिया निशना आज घास पानी 1B इतु सेलिब्रेशन से शामिल हुई ना Dibupar A Sumi Community Hall de program ekta rakhise. Program de Public Health Engineering Department la Minister Jacob Zimomi kun Gaspani la MLA ase taibra Modi government aya pichide kina development aise itula kotha kuise. Zimomi bra Modi sarkar bra alak schemes de laga kotha kuise.
Under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi in this country from 2014 till today. If you remember, Prime Minister Modi has been ranked for the second consecutive term as the topmost ranked number one globally as the global leader of this world. It's a pride moment for all of us. If you compare relatively before 2014 and after 2014, after the government of Prime Minister Modi at the center, no national parties in the past, since India's independence, have brought about socio-economic development in this country. When we talk about Northeast was neglected. By the national parties that have governed this country since independence. Why? Perhaps because we had very less number of representatives in the parliament. And they thought that Northeast is a marginalized section, region of this country, so we could ignore them. And that is how we were sidelined in terms of social development, economic development, and political development, which needed intervention of the central government. Today, if you see Honorable Prime Minister's vision for this country, he has kept Northeast at par with the rest of the state in this country. He had termed an abbreviation with his interpretation, saying that Northeast means new engine. And Northeast will be the trajectory of the growth story of this country. It was only after Modi, who assumed the office as the Prime Minister of this country, even Nagaland got 4-lane road, railways sanctioned, several international airports has been sanctioned, including the state of Manipur, state of Arunachal, sea in Mizoram, sea in Assam. Prime Minister Modi had made us feel that we are at par with the rest of the state in the country. And how? It was not by the word of mouth, but by the developmental activities happening on ground. And that is why he has been accepted as the most prominent and the tallest leader across the world by very big democracies in the world, who keeps on assessing leaders who are leading several nations who have big economies in this world. If you see today, India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, growing at 8.2% per annum. This is a huge accomplishment under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. And how did it happen? It is because of the foreign policies, it is because of the economic policies in the country, it is because of the schemes of governance propagated by his government in the manifestos of the Bharatiya Janata Party, headed by the Prime Minister Modi, as a consensus candidate to lead this nation for the second consecutive term.
Program de shamil hua majute BJP state spokesperson Hokaito Zimomi, President BJP Dimapur district toko niho vi kotha kurise. Zimomi bra kotha kuria homoy Ayushman scheme, PM Ujwala Yojana, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao aro alak scheme laga kotha kurise. Woka District Entrepreneurs Association bra Wednesday de 8th Foundation Day manaise. Entrepreneurship, growth and avenues laga theme chulaigina. Ito occasion the resource persons DIC Woka laga economic investigator M Mabemo Kitan aro MGNF laga skill development officer Anuranjan Singh bra central laga sponsorship programs kan upor kotha kurse. Mabemo Kitan bra Prime Minister Employment Generation Program aro PM formalization of micro enterprise upor kotha kurse. Ito moi young entrepreneurs kan ge facilities kan chulaigina schemes kan balba chulabi kuise. Anuranjan Singh bra Mikey Khan ge business sector join kurubule encourage kurise aro takan nimide schemes taka khan janai dise.
Whether you are a student, entrepreneur, or teacher, whatever you want. Within that category, you will find whatever the credit linkage you have, either from the central government, from the state government, or from the local district administration, either private schemes or government association schemes. You will get all the details on the website called vikasvidya.in. So when you go to this, you don't need any kind of other advertisement to go through that. So just it will be enough to all of you. So I will request all of you to this mobilize to all the entrepreneurs to go through that. Those who are willing to get some great linkage or others support, not only financial, others marketing opportunity, you will also will get there.
I hope that it will reach greater heights as it completes yet another milestone. Your achievements are always our achievements, and the Chamber will always strive to support and encourage the entrepreneurs in any way possible.
그마 고정한 선화처럼 알려준데 뭐가 지나는 소리 힘들게 또 부족하나 내고 뭐가 야나모도 쏘다가 가나 이 디콘도 또 소주스나 이그노도 아무도 토스입지가 인수에 맞이가 돌아가
itu nombor kata umur tu ekira. Kema scheme itu na umur di proses tu umur tu business. Ndena sum tu lina ndena advice sudah umur tu. Ansung tu itu tu yang umur tu macam tu na government na cikgu na kota tu na tu umur jadi sesuatu.
Intellectual disabilities khange takhan learning or knowledge skills to develop or modat kurbo laga ichabra aji teaching learning materials distribution camp thakise district disabilities rehabilitation center district hospital Dimapur de itu camp te 57 beneficiaries pachakhan teaching learning materials kits paise distribution camp to National Institute for Empowerment of Persons with Intellectual Disabilities NEPID pra Prodigals Home or District Disabilities Rehabilitation Center Dimapur logo collaborate kurina camp te organize kurise program de Dr. Khela Sanyo Medical Superintendent District Hospital Dimapur ba NIEPID ke dhanyabad dise aro alag district te bhi takhan laga services puncha bole request kurise aji Anup Khinchi Director of Census Operation pra chief guest kurise Manipur Law Chief Minister N. Biren Singh Wednesday day infrastructure development inaugurate kurise Panam Ning Thau Immortal Fire aro alak historical monuments khan Androde thaka khan preserve kurule. Itu homoide Chief Minister bra Androde Manu Khan ge khushi janaise Mete community la culture, traditions aro artifacts khan bachabole karne kaam kuriya nimde.
Yumjaugi September Sangwachi had an equalak koi panel. Aduna, which I really go and the PB when on the Miami City getting a more and quite again wide with it. Quite again on the lap with the noise of it. And the lap with the some noise of it. No noising sing. Warika Sutadon of Yagaba, Zikas Wari keeping about Sigia Singba Mapu Sigia Singba Naga and really see the way and drawn away later. Si thambibagi damakta hore sebonga aga kallaga thambibagi damakta ai
तो ये तो था से आजिला नागमिस न्यूज़ राउंड अप और अलग अलग खबर काने साथ ही Hornbill TV. Goodbye.